I'm going to be talking about James M. Wood Boulevard, which runs from Western and Koreatown to the 110 freeway in downtown, ending at Figueroa, which is the longest street in Los Angeles.
Whoa, Greg. Edit point here. That's where the building, that apartment building, that's what you're talking about with the babies that were in the basement
that Peter Pan authored, allegedly didn't.
Yeah, that Peter Pan put 2 mummified babies in the basement. J.M. Barrie.
J.M. Barrie, that's what it is.
Well, another name confusion thing.
Essentially, James M. Wood Street is 9th Street for this. In its entire length is 9th Street. For only a portion of this, it's called James M. Wood Boulevard. So why named a well-liked local street after venomous nothing actor James Wood? Is it because I like Videodrome and he's kind of funny in The Simpsons? So what? James M. Wood Boulevard is not named after the actor James Wood. It's actually named after Chevy Chase.
It's actually named after James Caan.
Let's talk about James M. Wood. James M. Wood, could not find too much information about him, but what I found leads you to think, oh yeah, he should have a street named after him. He was the LA County's top labor leader and an architect of downtown's building boom of the 70s and 80s, and was responsible for influential urban renewal projects as well as fighting for the people who live on Skid Row.
That doesn't sound like the James M. Woods I know.
No, that's that's not the James Woods I know.
James L. Brooks, is that what we're talking about?
Like I said, I could not find too much on his childhood or his upbringing, but in the late 70s, our old pal Mayor Tom Bradley selected Wood to run the city's community redevelopment agency, where he put his influence into social change. It said that the Bunker Hill skyscrapers, Little Tokyo, the Central Library, Mocha, and the industrial sector of the East Side, as well as thousands of units of low-income housing, are the product of his years with his agency. As chairman of the Community Redevelopment Agency, he formed a conviction that any plan to revitalize downtown had to include redevelopment of Skid Row, which I didn't know how it's officially termed. Skid Row is Central City East.
That's the
area. That's the non-derogatory name for the area. It sounds very RoboCopy. Central City East.
Sector 4.
Sector 4. In 1977, the city finally adopted a redevelopment plan to preserve the single occupancy hotels, the SROs, for that area for the population that is on Skid Row. From that, they formed the SRO Housing Corporation to acquire and rehabilitate the area's hotels. So, like the Cecil, which I'll be bringing up in a little bit, how they preserve those rooms for low-income people that are just like single people rooms. That's part of that whole plan of his.
Single murder room?
Single murder room. You've seen the documentary.
Would you like a single murder or a double murder room?
Well, I got my kids with me.
So, triple. Can we get a roll-in murder?
Do you have like a murder-suicide thing? This was in 1984 that they did that. Formed the Housing Corporation for the single
year
room
of dysfunction. The year of Apple commercials.
The year of Beat It or Thriller. I don't remember which one. Ask me why I don't remember. The SRO Housing.
Are there any streets named after him? I know there's an auditorium named after him.
Auditorium of an elementary school.
Yeah.
The SRO Housing Corporation's mission is working towards community revitalization by providing clean, safe, and affordable housing to people, managing public spaces, and administering needed social support services in order to preserve affordable housing for everybody who's in Skid Row as much as they can. James M. Wood, through his efforts, was getting people off the streets of Skid Row, which is really good. In 1982, with the guidance of Wood and the Community Redevelopment Agency, as well as the Economic Development Administration, these two corporations created a commercial light industrial center where semi-skilled or unskilled workers could be offered jobs who were in that area.
From District 9 or whatever they call it?
From Central City East, yes. District 9, I hate you.
You get to bring up Chappie every time, and I can't bring up that director's
the actual good one. Where's this bird?
Why do birds interrupt our podcast?
Over here.
And over here.
So as well as being an architect for renewal, he was also an activist in union politics. He was a guy on the picket line and the guy at the strike negotiations. As far as labor leaders, a lot of people put him up there with Cesar Chavez, although for different causes. He was elected to the head of the LA County Federation of Labor late in his years. He was also chosen by the next mayor, Richard Riordan, to fill a vacancy of the LA Recreation Parks, the not funny one, commissions in 1995.
The gritty drama one.
And he died the following year, 1996, of cancer. In 1997, the LA City Council voted to rename a portion of 9th Street, like I said, from Fig to Western, after him. Deservingly so, because James M. Wood fought for the city and for the people on the street, as well as getting... What?
People on the street.
People on the street.
Diddly-do-dat. Why do songs always come into my head?
When I'm talking, when I'm thinking.
Do I need a little help?
Anyways, as well as getting a street named after him in Central City East, he also got the James M. Wood Community Center named after him. It provides programs for seniors and disabled residents, including supplying meals, transport services, and social services. It also has a 12-step program for area residents. It's a damn fine legacy, and it's a shame not more of us knew about him. And I think it's really important talking about James M. Wood because the Cecil documentary that just came out really paints Skid Row as a war zone, and every tent is another nefarious, and they really like demonize Skid Row, and it's not a great documentary. My biggest fault is that they really make Skid Row seem like Stabsburg.
That was the original name.
That was the original name, and it is a bad area, but instead of demonizing it, people should probably be figuring out what
How
they
to
can
fix
do.
it.
Yeah, how to fix
But
this.
it's also kind of disappointing because when I see James M. Wood Boulevard, I know it's not James Wood, but I always think it's James Wood, which is terrible that this real James Wood is not getting the legacy he deserves.
Because of an actor who's really awful on the internet.